All tricks, no treats. I really hate when wrestlers come up short in title matches, especially when a win would actually mean something. Big Mommy Cool Raquel Rodriguez came up short in the Women's World Title Triple Threat match when Stephanie Vaquer pinned Nikki Bella to retain. On the bright side, Raquel wasn't pinned. On the bad side, what happens now? Yes, we technically got some advancement in the Judgment Day story, Roxanne Perez seemingly choosing Liv Morgan over Raquel, but it's not enough. We spent an entire year dealing with start and stop storytelling with the Judgment Day. Storylines reset, twist back on themselves, and sometimes felt like they were going nowhere. So to see Raquel lose here when a win could have significantly advanced the Judgment Day saga is incredibly frustrating. And when you combine that with the announcement that Dominik Mysterio is out indefinitely with a shoulder injury, yeah, not a great night for the Judgment Day. That being said, maybe, just maybe, we're finally getting a face turn from the demented demon known as Finn Bálor. Also, for everyone who wanted Liv Morgan to win the Royal Rumble, you might want to be a little bit concerned, because if Raquel isn't champion, she's in that Rumble. So, welcome. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Finn, JD, Roxanne, Poor Carlito, and El Grande Americano, and Los Americanos. This Raw review is entitled, All Tricks, No Treats. Big Mommy Cool is not your Women's World Champion tonight, and I am not taking it well. I was rooting hard for Raquel. She needs a title run. Raquel consistently losing does no favors, especially if she's supposed to be in a feud with Liv Morgan. Liv is an already established name. She has multiple championships. Raquel needs every ounce of build she can get, especially if she's supposed to be feuding with Liv Morgan in the future. And because of this loss, I am no longer feeling confident Liv wins the Royal Rumble. But we'll circle back to that. So let's get into it, shall we? Dominik Mysterio's injury. It was reported during Raw that Dominik Mysterio suffered a shoulder injury at the AAA show and is out indefinitely. According to Body Slam, a dirt sheet, WWE is being cautious with Dom and hasn't classified it as a serious injury. My thoughts. Don't panic just yet. Even though I take dirt sheets with a huge grain of salt, I'm not overly worried. If this was a more serious injury, we would have heard something more definitive by now. We knew the severity of Liv and Seth Rollins' injuries almost immediately. The WWE is likely being cautious and letting Dom rest. And honestly, Dom isn't essential to the Judgment Day storyline right now. The focus is clearly on Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne. Finn is getting a little bit, but the focus is on the women. So he can take this time to recuperate, rest, and heal up any banged up things that he's had. So as of right now, I am not worried about Dom just yet. We haven't heard anything about him possibly getting his titles taken away or anything else severe-wise. And them saying he's out indefinitely kind of makes it more ambiguous on the WWE side. So yeah, they had to address Dom not being there, but they didn't put a timetable on it like Liv, and like I said, we would have heard something by now. Even with the Raw being recorded last week, we would have heard something during the week, even with the Christmas holiday. And it just shows that even with people like Sean Ross Sapp, who I put a little bit more faith in, he hasn't even reported anything just yet. Now, I kind of expect him to maybe regurgitate what Body Slam says and probably what the WWE says, but we haven't heard anything from him. We haven't heard anything from PW Insider either. So, don't panic on Dom's injury just yet. We're just going to hope that he's just banged up and he's just resting. And like I said, he doesn't really need it. And he doesn't really need to be around right now. And that man's been going nonstop all year. So he needs to rest. We'll talk about the holiday tour. Liv Morgan returned to action on the holiday tour, defeating Vaquer. Roxanne and Raquel miscommunications continued, with Raquel costing Roxanne her match against Io Sky by distracting the referee. Some notes from this. It's good to see Liv back in action, so I'm really good to see it, and she was looking really good. The split between Roxanne and Raquel is being reinforced even on the live tour events, so that matters a lot. Patterns matter, so they keep running the whole Raquel's interfering and costing Roxanne matches, which is contributing to their storyline right now. Some things from social media. Liv was posting photos right after Raw saying Daddy Dom till death. And all I got to say on that, it finally took her 2 months to say Daddy Dom. And I'm fully expecting people to say, well, she's saying Daddy Dom now. I'm like, and all I'm just going to say is that it took her 2 months to say it. So it is what it is. It took her 2 months. She hadn't been saying it so much to the point that other people have been pointing out that, hey, she hasn't said Daddy Dom. Hey, she hasn't been wearing the Daddy Dom choker. So now she's saying it. I mean, it's awfully convenient now. But let's get into Monday Night Raw, shall we? Backstage promo. Raquel Rodriguez is being interviewed by Jackie Redmond. Raquel says there will be no tricks tonight. No one is getting in the way of what's hers. Liv interrupts, saying that Judgment Day has had a rough couple of weeks, and with JD and Dirty Dom out, they need her to handle business tonight because Raquel is being champion. Raquel shuts that down. She thanks Liv, but she said there's no miscommunication. Since there's not going to be no miscommunication, she can handle this on her own. Liv starts to say Raquel was thinking, and then Raquel cuts her off. Like, what was Raquel thinking? And then right on cue, Roxanne walks up. Liv smooths it over, saying they were just talking strategy. Roxanne says last week was water under the bridge, and Raquel's got this, and she kind of grabs Raquel here. Raquel says that she doesn't need luck, kind of shrugs off Roxanne and walks off. Liv then pets Roxanne and smiles, and Roxanne is looking upset for a bit, and then she recovers. My takeaways from this: Liv interrupting Raquel's interview felt a bit pompous. Like, what are we doing? She did the same thing with Stephanie Liv did, but, that's your quote-unquote sister, and you're just straight up, interviewing, she's straight up interrupting the interview. Like, that's really pompous of you. And then she is straight pretty much petting Roxanne like a dog. Like, why, ma'am? Why are we doing this? And Roxanne was clearly bothered by Raquel brushing her off. Like, Roxanne had some idea to help Raquel and help her strategize, and she was putting water under the bridge, and Raquel pretty much brushed her off. And Liv is absolutely enjoying and relishing the split happening between Roxanne and Raquel right now. You could see it in her smile. I called it, I called it being fake again. Like, she's relishing it. Raquel was confident to the point of arrogance, maybe to her own detriment. Also, can we point out that Liv's reaction to Dom's injury feels a tad bit muted compared to how Dom reacted when Liv was injured? Just something to chew on. But to circle it back to Liv, she is absolutely relishing the split happening between Raquel and Roxanne. She was feeling pompous, manipulative, and it's just being perfect for her character. So I actually like it. I like Liv having this character. I mean, she's showing a different side. She's still showing that heelness. She's still showing how she's plotting, and I'm enjoying it. So it just remains to be seen on how the split is going to go down. Up next is the Women's World Title Triple Threat match between Raquel Rodriguez versus Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. This was an excellent match. Raquel showed out with her power, especially when she was bending Stephanie over her back, almost like a torture rack submission style. Nikki tried to steal the pins whenever she could in the match, but the match was excellent. Like, they had 2 segments plus the commercials. I got to see it through the commercials, and it was great. They showed out. They put their foot in it. Finish comes when Raquel hits a Tejano bomb on Nikki. Stephanie tosses Raquel out of the ring somehow. I think Raquel kind of fell out the ring, but she gets out of the ring, and then Stephanie pins Nikki to retain and pretty much stole the win here. I still think Raquel should have won. Big Mommy Cool is not your champion, and I'm still not taking it well. Raquel also losing here does her no favors, especially if she's supposed to be in a feud with Liv eventually. Liv is made, Raquel needs to build. But at least Raquel wasn't pinned, so that's the bright spot in all this. Also, Raquel has some justification for one more title shot at Stephanie, especially since her previous pin loss involved Nikki. So there's a chance we can go 3 for 3. And I know people are going to get all upset, but considering that Dom had to go through iterations of Rusev and Penta and all three, and same thing with AJ. One more match is not gonna hurt Stephanie, and she needs this. Everybody else is tied up. But I'll circle back to that later. Next up, we have a Finn Bálor interview during a commercial. Why this is one wasn't on TV, I don't know, but it was on. This was an interview during a commercial break. Finn Bálor, Stepdaddy Finn, was in a suit, looking spiffy, is interviewed by Byron Saxton. He talks about Judgment Day struggling. He talks about carrying NXT on his back, and that he's going to put JD and Dom on his back and bring championship gold back to the Judgment Day. And by championship gold, I'm thinking he's talking about the main title, not Intercontinental or something like that. Notes from this, I don't care what people said, this was a face promo. The way he was looking, he wasn't in his regular shirts and things like that. This man was in a suit. And that whole promo screamed face. A lot of people were just saying like, oh, he's doing this, he's biding his time against Liv, yada yada yada. Nah, Finn did not even mention Liv in this interview at all. If you ever catch it on social media or on the X or something like that, Finn didn't mention Liv at all. He was talking about JD, and he was talking about Finn and putting him on his back. He mentioned Raquel's loss, but it was all more about putting Judgment Day on his back and carrying it just like he did with NXT. So this is a face promo from Finn. He also had no demented demon behavior. He wasn't smiling at Dom's misfortune. He wasn't smiling at Raquel. He was upset about it, almost, about Raquel losing. So this, like I said, this was just a straight up face promo from Finn. And he was talking about leadership and responsibility. He also mentioned there are no leaders in Judgment Day, which is interesting again. You know how I was getting after Liv, there are no leaders in Judgment Day, so like why would Raquel need to clear everything with Liv? Here, Finn is reiterating the whole there are no leaders in Judgment Day bit again. And all of that matters. And like I said, he did not mention Liv at all, which I find very, very interesting. But I do hope we do get a face turn with Finn Bálor. I think he deserves that. I think he's been heel for a long time, and at this point, he deserves that Finn turn, that face turn with him. Like, he's done enough. He's carried a lot of people on his back, and it's time for him to reap the benefits a little bit. And then we go into a Lyra, Bayley, and Scrap Daddy segment. Why am I mentioning this? Because of what was talked about. Lyra and Bayley want a tag team title shot. Scrap Daddy says that Liv spoke to him first, and that Liv and Roxanne are next in line, prompting Bayley to call him a stupid idiot and go into that stupid idiot type character. Lyra points out that Bayley beat Roxanne. And it kind of goes from there. Like, they want their shot, they want next, but Liv and Roxanne got there first. And it looks, at least for the Raw side, at least. So, takeaways from this, Liv and Roxanne are next from the Raw side. So, if Rhea and Io win next week on Raw, then Liv and Roxanne have next, and that'll probably be an interesting matchup, and probably the few times we'll see Liv and Roxanne actually work together. We also seems like we got some kind of feud possibly building with Lyra, Bayley, Liv, and Roxanne. So it'll be interesting how this turns out as well. Like, do they show up like during this match if Liv and Roxanne do it, or do they force their way into the match? It'll be interesting to see how this feud might come about. And that was that for the Judgment Day side. Other Raw quick hits, the Division opened, Austin Theory talked, and CM Punk saved the segment, and that is it. I was bored out of my mind, and I'm really tired of the Division. Javon Evans interacted with Team AJ Lee, Dragon Lee, and AJ Styles, and they backed him up against El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. And during this segment, peep the background, American Made with Ivy Now was lurking about, and they were paying attention to both either Los Americanos and El Grande Americano, or Team AJ Lee. Rhea and Io brawled with Asuka and Kairi, and that's pretty much it. It's just a brawl there. Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory ended in no contest after Logan Paul interfered. Penta returned from injury and made the save, so his love from Dominik couldn't help him face him at the AAA show, but he helped save his deadbeat dad. The Usos defeated Team AJ Lee to become the new World Tag Team Champions. And please, use the Usos theme. They have a theme. They have a combined theme. Why are they still using Jay? Stop it. I am tired of it. I'm tired of the Jimmy disrespect. Use that Uso theme. And it's actually better than Jay's theme anyway. And Dragon Lee better not go back to catering. That man shows out. He's insane. Puts his body on the line in every match. And I don't want to see him back in catering after this world title situation. I want him to be in singles contention. If that means he's going to be going up against Dom for his IC belt, then so be it. They have a fight forever feel, and I wouldn't mind Dom dropping the IC title belt to Dragon Lee. I don't want Dragon Lee back in catering. Some final thoughts for this show. Don't panic about Dom's injury yet. You know, we're going to let it play out. Raquel may get another title shot since she wasn't pinned, possibly at the Royal Rumble, and I'm kind of hoping they do this. Like, run that match at the Royal Rumble, let Raquel win it there, and then you can have Liv win the Royal Rumble, and then challenge Raquel there. Like, do something like that. If Raquel doesn't get a title match, then they need to pull the trigger on this Judgment Day stuff and either kick her out of Judgment Day. Do something. A trigger needs to be pulled some kind of way. No more just simmering tensions and things like that. Things need to get going. If Raquel is in the Royal Rumble, she could potentially cost Liv the same way she's costing Roxanne, like distractions, or she could pull her over accidentally on purpose. Some people are saying, like, why would Raquel attack Liv? I'm like, did y'all not see how she cost Roxanne the match last week? Like, she was up there distracting when she didn't need to be distracting. And she actually did the same thing with Liv months ago prior to Liv got injured. So it is well within the realm of possibilities for Roxanne to do something to cost Liv. So that's why I'm saying, if Raquel doesn't have this title, there's not really a guaranteed shot of Liv winning said Royal Rumble. Like, I think it would be in people's best interest, if they want Liv to win the Royal Rumble, to have Raquel have that title. Because the WWE could very easily have it where Raquel costs Liv and pulls her out of the Royal Rumble where she doesn't win, and they start the feud that way. And we can also very realistically see Liv and Roxanne versus Rhea and Io for the tag titles. I'm not sure about how excited I am about that, but it is what it is. So, I mean, if people want to see Rhea versus Liv one more time, there you go. And that was Raw.